You know that feeling, right? When the air gets a little crisper, the nights start getting longer, and something spooky happens. We all know the signs.
First up, the costumes. We all get to transform into whatever we want. Heroes, monsters, even the latest internet meme, just for one night.
And then there's the candy. Oh, the candy. Kids running from door to door, coming back with these huge bags just overflowing with enough sugar to last a season.
And of course, the scares. We kind of love being a little bit freaked out, don't we? Ghosts, ghouls, those grinning pumpkins everywhere, it's all just good, harmless fun.
But have you ever stopped to think about where all this stuff actually comes from? I mean, why do we do it? Well, the real reasons are pretty fascinating. The origins of the costumes, the candy, this one night where it's totally okay to be spooky, it all goes back thousands of years. So to really get it, we need to travel way back in time, like 2,000 years back.
All right, let's dive in. Our story starts not with candy, but with fire. We're going back to the ancient Celts and their sacred festival of Samhain, and this was not a party. It was a really big deal, one of the most important moments of their entire year. Okay, so to get what Samhain was all about, you have to understand this one key idea, liminality. It's just a fancy word for being in between, on a threshold. For the Celts, Samhain was the ultimate liminal time. It was the moment stuck right between the end of summer and the start of winter, when the old year died and the new one was born. And they believed this in-betweenness meant the veil, the boundary between our world and the spirit world, got super, super thick.
So, you've got this thin veil between worlds. Pretty chaotic, right? So how did they deal with it? Well, they had a very specific playbook of rituals. They'd honor their ancestors by leaving out food, kind of inviting their spirits home. They lit these massive bonfires. Some people think the name comes from bone fires because they throw animal bones in to purify everything and protect the community. And those costumes we talked about? Originally, they were disguises. Think animal skins and heads. Not for fun, but to literally confuse evil spirits and hide from them. This was all about survival.
Okay, next up, old traditions, new names. This is all about how Christianity absorbed and basically reframed a pagan festival. See, as Christianity spread through Europe, it ran into these really powerful pagan traditions. And instead of just trying to stamp them out, the church had this really clever strategy. Just absorb them and give them a new Christian spin.
And this didn't happen overnight. It happened in stages. First, way back in 609 AD, a feast for all Christian martyrs was created, but it was in May. The real power move came in the 8th century. That's when Pope Gregory III moved that feast day to November 1st, putting it right on top of Samhain. A few hundred years later, they added All Souls' Day on November 2nd. And boom, just like that, the old Celtic festival was basically sandwiched inside this new 3-day Christian event called All Halloween.
And this whole rebranding thing, it's exactly where we get the name Halloween. The day for all the saints, or Hallows, was called All Hallows' Day. So the night before it, October 31st, became known as All Hallows' Eve. You can probably see where this is going. All Hallows' Eve just got smushed together over time into the one word we all use today, Halloween.
But even with the new name, the old traditions didn't just disappear. They just adapted. Take trick-or-treating. You can actually trace its roots back to this medieval thing called souling. Here's how it worked. On All Souls' Day, people who were poor would go door to door and offer to pray for a family's dead relatives. And in return, they'd get these little sweetbreads called soul cakes. Sound familiar? This whole ritual of going door to door, trading a little service for a treat, that's the direct ancestor of what kids do today.
Now for the holiday's biggest makeover. This is where it really got reinvented, and it happened when it came to America. Here, Halloween was kind of stripped of its old religious meaning and totally remade. First as a night of pure chaos, and then into the tame, family-friendly thing we know today.
So when Irish and Scottish immigrants brought their traditions to America in the 1800s, Halloween turned into a night for pranks, mischief night. But as cities got bigger and more crowded, those little pranks started to get out of hand, turning into real destructive vandalism. It became such a big deal, it was known as the Halloween problem. So to try and fix it, community groups started pushing for more organized, safer activities. And then after World War II, with everyone moving to the suburbs, trick-or-treating was promoted as the perfect, controlled way to celebrate and keep the chaos down.
And honestly, nothing shows this American reinvention better than the jack-o'-lantern. The original tradition is from an Irish myth about a guy named Stingy Jack. The story goes he was doomed to walk the earth with just a burning coal inside a hollowed-out turnip to light his way. So people would carve their own scary faces into turnips to scare away spirits. But when those Irish immigrants got to America, they found the pumpkin. It was way bigger and so much easier to carve. And just like that, an icon was born.
So, this taming of Halloween really set the stage for its final big transformation. Once it was stripped of its spiritual roots and repackaged as this safe, fun holiday for kids, it became the perfect thing for companies to sell.
And sell they did. I mean, the scale of the Halloween machine today is just staggering. Just look at this number. In 2025, it's projected that people in the US will spend over $13 billion on Halloween. That makes it the second biggest commercial holiday in the whole country. So where's all that money going? Well, it's pretty evenly spread across three main pillars of the Halloween industry. Costumes are still king, making up the biggest chunk at over $4 billion. But decorations are right behind them. They've gotten hugely popular lately. And of course, you've got the candy that fuels all that trick-or-treating. Still a nearly $4 billion market.
This whole commercial boom has totally changed how we celebrate. I mean, the Halloween season now starts in September, right? And social media, not the stores, is where we all get our ideas for costumes. We're spending almost as much on decorating our houses as we do on ourselves. And get this, we even spend nearly $1 billion just on costumes for our pets.
Okay, let's look at how Halloween goes global. Because as American culture is spread around the world, so has its version of Halloween. But it's not just a simple copy and paste job. The holiday gets adapted, it gets blended with local traditions, and sometimes it gets confused with them.
And it's really important to draw a line between traditions that might look similar but are totally different. A perfect example is Halloween versus Mexico's Dia de los Muertos. They happen around the same time, they both use skeleton imagery, but their meaning is fundamentally different. Halloween traditions come from a place of fearing spirits and wanting to scare them away. Dia de los Muertos, on the other hand, is all about joyfully welcoming the spirits of your family back home for a visit. It's a celebration of memory and love, not fear.
And it's fascinating to see how the holiday changes from one place to another. In Canada, for instance, it's pretty much identical to the US version. But then you look at Japan, and it's been adopted as this huge, adult-focused thing with cosplay and massive street parties, almost completely disconnected from the spooky stuff. And in the Philippines, you see this really cool blend, where American-style trick-or-treating happens right alongside a really important and solemn family tradition of visiting cemeteries, which they call undas.
So, after this whole journey, it's pretty clear Halloween has never been just one thing. This quote really sums it up perfectly. The holiday has always been like a mirror, reflecting what a society is afraid of, how it keeps itself in check, what it spends money on, and how it thinks about, the great unknown.
I mean, think about it. It started as a sacred Celtic fire festival, and now it's a global multi-billion-dollar industry. Halloween has proven to be amazingly adaptable. Its whole story is just one of constant change and reinvention. So after 2,000 years, you have to wonder, what's next? This ancient tradition is for sure going to keep transforming in ways we probably can't even imagine yet.